Alright, so to give an update on where I'm at with the tail cone, as you can see, I'm starting to run the electrical all along the J stiffeners here. Now, I've been dealing with an issue of not having the right wiring from the harness that was provided. Giving an idea what I'm looking at. Sorry, I'm trying to maneuver the camera so you can see it. But this is the wiring diagram, and this is the pin that's in the forward end, which is here. Okay, so it's at the forward end of the tail section. This is the left side. This whole thing's upside down. So this is the left side of the tail cone, and so that's going to be in the forward end and will connect right here. So looking at the wiring diagram and the plug, I had to figure out where each wire is going to, and I tried to make notes as I figured it out. So this is the pin that goes up front, or the connector that goes up front, and a group of wiring that goes aft. This is another group of wiring that goes aft to another pin that connects to the trim tab motor in the horizontal stabilizer. And then these leads from that pin, or that connector, go back up forward and connect somewhere else for the power supply to go to the trim tab motor. So a bunch of the wires and everything, and I'm going through and I'm labeling as I can, just to make sure that if I have issues later, I can at least identify which wire is which. So as I'm going through, I realized that this lead to pin number 9 on the forward connector is missing. And what it is the shield wire, the shield around the wire. It's the grounding lead into pin 9. So what I'm going to have to do is later on, I think I will just cut the leads, repin them, and also make this connection onto the ground, the shield wire, to ground the shield for the wire to make it actually work. Everything else seems to be okay. It's just it's missing this piece. So I think I'll be okay. Just a matter of getting it corrected later on. So might not be fun, but it's something that will be manageable. So back to the tail cone. So as you can see, I've got everything routed and it's grouped up until this point. You have these two leads, which will go up into, when it flips over, will be the aft deck. And I believe these ones, I'm actually not sure what these go to. I'm hoping at some point I'll see it later in the instructions. But these ones come back and they go through this bulkhead and come out. And this is the connector that will connect to the electric trim tab motor. And then this lead goes back to the light on the rudder, the tail light. And then it goes down and goes to the rest of the leads there. So that's where I'm at. Kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll try to clean this up and then get this thing turned over. So anyway, back to your regular scheduled program.
All right, and with that, welcome back. Continuing to build the tail cone portion of the RV14. I think I discussed in a previous video the issues that I'd run into with the wiring harness that I just went over. And since then I have spoken with Vans. I sent them some emails with pictures of what I was coming across, and they came back and showed me online on their website. They actually have an updated wiring harness diagram, and that pin is actually not supposed to have anything there. The manufacturers of the wiring harness, I guess, decided to move the grounding point from that pin in the forward end of the tail cone to the aft end of the tail cone, and so it's just the plans were not updated. So if you're getting to this position in your plan, in your build, that's not a mistake as far as the wiring harness. It's the correct wiring harness. They've just got an updated wiring diagram for it. So Anyway, here I'm breaking the skins for the side skin to go where it meets up with the bottom skin, and there are a couple different methods to do this, but I found that for me, this has worked out to be better. One method is to use the roller tool, and I have it, and I've used it, and I'm not as impressed with it as I am with this piece here. It just doesn't seem to crease the skin enough to create a smooth transition between pieces. So I take the tool that I was using there with the flat metal, and then clamp it to the skin and bend it. And I've used that for a while now, and it makes really good transition points on the skins. Basically, I line it up to the bottom of the dimpled holes, and then just crease it a little bit. I kind of over exaggerate a little, but not a lot, just enough to make sure that when you rivet it in place, it sits down real nicely and flush with the other skin that it's mating with. And so far it's worked really well. I've as I'm making this video, I am pretty much complete with the tail cone. I'm in fact in the process of attaching the horizontal and vertical stabilizers to the tail cone, and which I believe is section 11. But all of these seams on the tail cone have come together real well. And so that's the method that I've adopted to break the skins, break the edges. So anyway, so here I've got the left skin on, as you can see, and routed the wiring through the J stiffener on the side of the skin. And you want to align those. The instructions show you measurements for how long a certain wire should be from the last zip tie, and you want to make sure you get pretty close to that. What that enables you to do is, at the forward end, the wires go along the J stiffener on the side up until that forward bulkhead, that large ring, and then it goes down that bulkhead to basically the center channel on the bottom of the tail cone. And half the wiring harness goes up the left side, and the other half is two wires that go up the right side of that center channel to the forward end of the tail cone. If you don't have the measurements done correctly in the back, then it leaves you short in the wiring going forward, and your especially the two leads that go up the right side of the center channel, they are too short and don't go up far enough. So it wasn't until I installed the aft deck that I was able to actually move the wiring to the correct spot. I was able to put the clip in the final position and then move the wiring with that, and I was able to finally work the wiring to where it was long enough. But you might come into issues with it, but like I said, once you get everything installed, it'll work out and it'll get to the right length on the forward end. So here I'm just putting on the stiffeners on the right side, and the plans have you put it in place and then go get the longer on and put it in place, and they don't hold very well. As you can see, one's already fallen there. So, and there goes the second one. The easiest thing to do might be put the longer on in place, flip it on its side like I'm about to do, and then place the J stiffeners in place, because they stay a whole lot better like this, obviously. So anyway, you put these in, and then you're going to put the side skin on there and put everything into position. And this whole process goes by very quickly. As I've said numerous times before in previous videos on the tail cone, this section is quick. There's a lot to it, and there's a lot of riveting, but it still goes by pretty quickly. I had a friend come over, and he looked at it, and he saw it like this, and it was one of those, wow, this is neat, but looks kind of flimsy still kind of reactions. Well, a couple days later, he came by again, and I had all of the skins on, and he looked at it and was impressed. It looks like a real, airplane part, whereas before it still kind of looked too small, and he wasn't too sure. But once I got the whole piece together and covered in skins, that's when he looked at it and was like, wow, makes a difference. So as it's coming together and you start riveting the skins to the frame and everything like that, it really looks, and feels like a real airplane part. And it's kind of it's a neat place to be in the build process. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let this video run out here. Again, I appreciate everybody that continues to follow these videos. If you get a chance, hit that like button for me. That'll hopefully allow more folks to come across these videos. But more than anything else, if you think that you are have an interest in this at all and are just not sure if you can do it, by all means, go ahead and go for it. I promise you can do this. It's very well designed plans, easy to follow, and it's a lot of fun. So anyway, we'll see you next time.